Hello, I'm Bretton, one of our tutors here at Inspira Advantage, where we help students get into med school and other professional programs. Today, we're going to talk about one of the toughest questions on MCAT periodic trends. The MCAT loves to test to see if you have memorized the underlying concepts and not just memorized surface level information. The AAMC loves to do this by examining your understanding of atomic size and what contributes to it. Today, we're going to go over two problems you might see on the MCAT in increasing difficulty. Alrighty, let's begin here with question 1. Pause the video and give this a try yourself before I walk you through it. Now, this is a semi-straightforward way to test your knowledge of effective nuclear charge. From our last video, we know that atomic size decreases from left to right across the periodic table. In other words, it increases in this direction. Knowing this, we can immediately eliminate S and O because they are further to the right, which we can see here. See that we are examining oxygen, sulfur, nitrogen, and phosphorus. So because these two are to the right, we can get rid of them. Now, we have to remember that as we go down the periodic table, we also increase in size. This allows us to eliminate nitrogen, because phosphorus is below nitrogen. This means that phosphorus has an additional valence shell, making it much larger than nitrogen. This allows us to correctly choose answer choice C, phosphorus. Now that we're warmed up, let's kick it up a notch with question 2. Which of the following lists atoms correctly in order from smallest to largest? We're dealing with oxygen atoms here, but all of them have different charges. Give this a try on your own before I walk you through what's going on here. For question 2, we want to focus again on effective nuclear charge. First, let's talk about plain old neutral oxygen. It's going to have 8 electrons and 8 protons. We know this because if we zoom in on oxygen here, we see that it has 8 protons right here. This number tells us the amount of protons, and since it is uncharged, it must have 8 electrons. Now, let's compare this to positively charged oxygen. Positively charged oxygen is still going to have 8 protons, which I'll symbolize with a P+ here. But since it has a positive charge, this means there's an excess of positively charged protons. In other words, we have 1 fewer electron. We have 7 electrons. Okay. This will mean that there is a greater effective nuclear charge per electron, resulting in a smaller electron cloud and therefore a smaller atom compared to uncharged oxygen. Similar logic can be applied to negatively charged oxygens. Let's start with O-. Again, we're going to have 8 protons, but now we have a negative charge. This means the negatively charged electrons are overwhelming the charge of the positively charged protons. This means we're going to have 9 total electrons for oxygen, contributing to that overall -1 charge. Well, how about -2? Again, we've got 8 protons, and now we're going to just have an additional electrons. Now we have 10 whole electrons. The more electrons per proton will result in a decreased overall force pulling on each electron towards the nucleus. This results in a larger atom overall as the charge becomes more negative, thus resulting in answer choice B being correct. So if we want to take this just based on what we know here, I'll just grab it and move it. So we know that O+ is going to be the smallest. Then we know we're going to have our regular uncharged oxygen, and we've got our O-. And finally, as our largest, we have O-2. And I'll rewrite these just so there's no confusion. So this is our predicted answer. Does it match any of the questions? Why, yes, it does. It matches answer choice B perfectly. We're starting small with that positive charge, getting slightly less positive, now we're getting more negative, and finally we're super negative with a really large E- cloud. To continue improving your MCAT test score, you will want to do additional practice with applying your knowledge of periodic trends to other content questions. For more help on raising your score, please check out our other MCAT Bytes videos or connect with a private tutor today at inspiraadvantage.com. Thank you so much for watching our video on periodic trend evaluation, and I'll see you next time.